What's up, friends? My name is Taylor, and today I want to talk about circumcision. Specifically, I want to talk about 3 benefits of being uncircumcised, and one of those benefits I bet you've never heard of before. So, a little backstory. I am uncircumcised, and when I was growing up, I received a lot of shame and a lot of name calling for being uncircumcised. I played a lot of sports, and so I was in locker rooms a bunch, and I had nicknames like the Hooded Monk, which could be a cool nickname, but it was used in a derogatory way. And I was told that my cock was nasty and dirty and that no woman would like it because it's weird. And the truth is that an uncircumcised cock is a normal, healthy cock, and all these other guys that were around me just were uncomfortable with my cock because it looked different from theirs. So that was a bummer for me, and when I was 18, I actually looked into getting a circumcision on my own. I called a doctor and actually scheduled an appointment, and I'm so glad that I didn't do that. But man, peer pressure can fuck people up, especially at that age. So, back to the reason I'm making this video, 3 reasons or 3 benefits of being uncircumcised. So, number 1, the first benefit of being uncircumcised is probably obvious. There are thousands of nerve endings in the foreskin, and I don't know what the exact number is, but there are a lot. And if you cut off the foreskin, that's just gone. It's not coming back, So a benefit of being uncircumcised is that you have those thousands of extra nerve endings. And quick aside note to that, I know that some uncircumcised men have said that they think that's a handicap, and I've thought that at one point in my life because the thought has been that uncircumcised people are more prone to premature ejaculation. But in talking with all the men that I've talked to, I haven't found that to be the case. I know a ton of circumcised men who have struggled with premature ejaculation. Number 2, and this one is kind of a self-protective benefit of being uncircumcised, is that if you're into sports, if you run, if you jog, if you play basketball or anything like that, the foreskin goes around the head of your penis in a protective sort of way. So if you're running or moving a lot, you have this layer that keeps the head of your penis, the head of your cock, from chafing, from being desensitized, yes, but also from chafing and potentially being injured through extreme friction from those activities. There's a reason nature gave us foreskin. Nature didn't give us foreskin so we could cut it off. Nature gave us foreskin because it's a protective membrane, and it increases sensitivity. And the third reason, or the third benefit of being uncircumcised that I have never heard anybody else talk about, which is another nature piece, is this: sexual pleasure for your partner. Sexual ease for your partner. So what do I mean by that? So imagine that this is the inside of the vaginal canal, or this is the inside of the anus, the anal sphincter, right? When you put your cock into somebody's opening, there's going to be friction, right? When it goes through, it's going to push on these walls and expand them. And that's going to take lubrication. So there's all sorts of lubes you can use, and if it's a vagina that you're entering, then there are usually natural lubricants that come with that. But for a circumcised cock, you need a lot of lubricant, right? And it's this friction going in and out and in and out. For an uncircumcised cock, let me get a prop. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So again, this is the vaginal canal or the anal sphincter opening, and if this is a circumcised penis, then there's going to be friction, right? And friction can feel really good, and it can feel wonderful and awesome. And sometimes too much friction over time can cause desensitization, or it can cause friction burn or pain if the lubrication goes away. So we'll use a sock as an example for this cock, which is a cucumber. Even if you are uncircumcised, at first, when you enter a vaginal canal or an anus, there's going to be some friction when the head of the cock pushes through, right? Eventually, all this sock, which is representing the foreskin, eventually that extra skin is going to come into the opening as well, right? It's going to come into the canal. And at this point, this is where there's a major difference between a circumcised cock and an uncircumcised cock. The uncircumcised skin, the extra or the natural amount of skin around a cock, actually creates a sort of lubricating effect. It's a sheath, right? So that skin can stay in place on the anal sphincter or inside the vaginal canal, and this cock can move in and out smoothly. So inside the vagina, it can stimulate the cervix without creating friction around the opening, and in the anus, it can stimulate deep parts of the anal cavity without having this friction around the opening. So does that make sense? A circumcised cock, you're going to have a lot of friction and a lot of lube. And yes, an uncircumcised cock, you're going to have friction at first too, but eventually that extra skin is going to get in there, and then it can slide, your cock can slide in that sheath of skin, and that can create a different kind of comfort for your partner. So that is a benefit that I've never heard anybody else talk about before, and it's coming from personal experience with partners and just logic. So I share this mainly with you in hopes that this video reaches some people that are considering circumcising their sons. Please, my request for you is that you leave that choice up to them. I am so grateful that my parents left that choice up to me. And if you do leave that choice up to them, please provide some sort of positive education around sex and around the anatomy of their penis and their genitals, because there is a lot of unhealthy stuff out there, and a positive influence on a young person can really make a difference in this realm. And also a quick note to people who are circumcised, it is totally possible, and I know tons of men who are in love with their penises, in love with their cocks, and a lot of those men also have some grief around the fact that they were circumcised, and that is totally normal and understandable. And if you feel like that might be in you, I encourage you to look at that and get it out. Like cry or smash some shit or yell or something. Like that's real. Your cock was mutilated and cut without your consent when you were at a young age. You were just a baby. So I feel for that. And my hope and prayer for the future is that circumcision fades away from the mainstream. It's possible to have a wonderful sex life and no sexual problems with an uncircumcised cock. I can attest to that. Millions of people in other countries besides America can attest to that. And yeah, just do your research, look up some more videos like this, and let me know if this has impacted you anyway. I'd love to hear in a comment below. And you know how to subscribe if you want to. I'll see you next time. Cheers.